What's going on, everybody? My name is Chris Williams, and this is a new video series I'm going to be doing every week where I ask the Game Informer community, better known as the Overblood Facebook group, a different topic, and they'll come together, respond in various ways, and then I'll collect it all together, put it in a video, just like the one you're watching now. It's crazy, right? Mind blown. Now, of course, if, remember, for some reason, you're not a member of the Facebook group, you've come across this video somehow, the links are down below. I want you to click it. I want you to join. I want you to hang out with some pretty cool people. Okay, now on to the topic at hand. The first ever Game Informer Overblood community video thingy. I really need a title for this. If you guys could help, that would be fantastic. But the topic is Game Informer's Game of the Year. Yay or nay? Now, before we get into what won the award, here's how the editors voted personally on their own top 10 lists. Destiny ended up number 1 on 4 of the editors' lists. We had Dragon Age Inquisition showing up on 4 also, and 5 editors put Shadow of Mordor as their number 1 game of the year. We also had The Last of Us Left Behind, Wolfenstein, Dark Souls 2, Smash Brothers, and South Park Stick of Truth. Now, I will say this, a little spoiler, I'm pretty shocked that 5 editors had Shadow of Mordor as their... Mordor, you hear how I said that? Mordor, very strange. Shadow of Mordor as their number 1 game of the year, because what ended up winning Game of the Year for Game Informer was Dragon Age Inquisition. Now, of course, before I share my thoughts on Game Informer's Game of the Year, I figured, of course, we have to go to the whole reason these videos exist, which is the Game Informer community, better known as the Overblood community. My people, my good friends. Now, let's get down to what some folks here. Now, I will say this. This is not a joke. I'm not trying to make humor. I'm not trying to make anyone laugh with these videos. Some of you guys have some very strange names, and I don't know how to pronounce them. I talk to you guys a lot, and it wasn't until I started writing everyone's name down and I started trying to pronounce them before I hit record, and I don't know how to pronounce some of your names. But here we go. What did you think on, here's what you guys thought on Dragon Age, right? It was Simeon Moore. I don't know, right? He thought Dragon Age was a good pick, though he hasn't played it yet. His personal game of the year was Persona Q. He liked the humor, the characters, and the mix of gameplay elements. To quote Simeon, he said it works marvelously. I'm pretty sure it's Simeon, but I really don't know. Like, it wasn't until I started saying it out loud, I was like, I don't know how to say your name, and I'm so sorry. Maybe we could do like an Overblood dictionary, like on the side, where it'll be like how to pronounce everyone's name, like a noun. Aardbark, Aardbark, Simeon. How do you say it? There's more coming too. It's pretty bad. He says that Persona Q works marvelously. Robert St. John. There's a good fashioned American name. Maybe. He says Dragon Age should have been runner-up and Persona Q the victor. And personally, I thought it was really cool to see 3DS games get some votes. I don't have a 3DS, so I'll probably never play the game. But it's super cool that a lot of people, or that some people liked it. Let's see, Jeffrey Benoit, the crippler of the Overblood community, says Dark Souls 2, and he wasn't the only one. Seth Cameron and Tiberius Septum, son of a bitch, he agrees. Jeff and Seth actually commented on how they've put hundreds of hours into Dark Souls 2, which is it's pretty impressive. Jack Kimberlin did throw Shovel Knight, which was a good pick. I'm pretty excited to play Shovel Knight. I know they announced that it's coming to the PS4 and I think Vita as well later this year, so I'm excited to finally play that game. But whatever. And he did also say that before I forget, Jack said that Dragon Age is fantastic, so he didn't want to act like he didn't like Dragon Age. Smash Brothers got some love as well by Terrell. Is it Terrell? Terrell Chavis, Austin Baskell, and Isaiah Bailey. There's a good name. Terrell said Smash was actually one of the most positive experiences he's ever had playing a game, which I think that's pretty cool, right? I know a lot of communities, a lot of game communities, you have a lot of little kids cursing and sort of just being troll. So it's cool that he was able to play a game and find a real community online and meet some cool people. So Definitely great. Once again, Smash Brothers, another game I will never be able to play because I don't own a Wii U. So if anyone in the if, the Overblood community would like to buy me a Nintendo console, that would be fantastic. Andrew Reiner, one of the main guys at Game Informer. I know you're rolling in the dough. You're working on a book. You're in a band. Maybe you want to send me a birthday present. It's in August. Just saying. But everyone else, for the most part, was they were fully on board with Dragon Age. I know, let's see, Nicholas Levac wrote a quick review about how he loved the game, but he had some issues with it overall. He thought the companion characters were inert, saying they all had a little stake in the main campaign. Thought they were all written well, though. He wasn't a big fan of the side quests, saying most weren't interesting. Kind of agree, actually. He also wasn't a big fan of the combat. Still thinks it's a great game though. Just not as good as compared to the original Dragon Age, which is interesting because I did not like the original Dragon Age when I played it. So that's interesting. I'd love to go back and try Dragon Age again, just because I really hated it the first time I played it. And obviously, if you want to read everything he said, I've got the links for everything down below. Now, more Dragon Age love came from. Now, this one I feel like is a joke, right? Like this is a fake name. Obviously, you were not born with this name, but your name is Christopher Undenstock. Okay. And John Skovic, who said Shadow of Mordor isn't in Dragon Age's league. Damn. Jacoby Brannigan, who wrote a really great piece inside the thread discussing Dragon Age, Dark Souls 2, Destiny, and Shadow of Mordor. A quick summary, though, was all of these games are really good, except for Destiny. He hates Destiny. Like, for Jacoby, Destiny is Ebola, and he is a small child in a third world country. I mean, that's the truth. Like, it's not offensive if it's true, right? Like, that's a great analogy or metaphor. It's been a while since college. Now, but his main thing, though, for all the other games, where they were all really good games this year, but, they all had flaws. Some were not as flawed as others. And for him, Dragon Age was the best game. So there you go. He liked Dragon Age. Good for Jacoby. Also, if you want to read his entire piece, like I said, really good job at really talking about every game. It's in the link below. It's just going to take you right to the thread where all these comments are posted, and you can read it and check it out. Tell him how good of a job he did. Now, lastly, my opinion on this whole crazy thing. And remember, there are some games I missed, so don't freak out because I left something off, right? I didn't play Shadow of Mordor. I'm sorry, I didn't have time. I got it for Christmas. I'll probably play it, one day, but not right now. I've been busy, so here we go. Sorry, Ben Hansen. I played South Park: Stick of Truth. I did not enjoy it. I thought the combat system was it was kind of weak. It didn't click with me like I wish it would have. So that was a big disappointment. I really wanted to like that game a lot, and it just didn't happen for me. Another sorry that I've got to send to a Game Informer editor is Mr. Dan Tack. Dan, I played Dark Souls 2, and it didn't work for me. All joking aside, it didn't work for me. It was just something that didn't work. I played Dark Souls 1 a lot. I played a lot of Dark Souls 1, and I love Dark Souls 1. And Dark Souls 2, it just wasn't, something was missing. I couldn't figure out what it was. I'm very excited for Bloodborne, though. I'll definitely jump into that, and hopefully that'll kind of scratch the itch that that I had when I played the original Souls game. And I just have to say this, when it comes to praising the Son, at least for 2014, the only Son I'm praising, Mr. Dan Tack, is Infamous Second Son. Boom. Think about it. Now, stupid. Also, now on to Dragon Age, right? Dragon Age, Game of the Year for Game Informer. I liked it. It's a lot of fun, but I have some problems with it, right? Like, that's a game that when it's doing what it does well, it's a great game. Unfortunately, when it stumbles hard. It took me probably 40 hours to get into the game to a point where I went, oh, I like these characters. Oh, I like I like this world. I like the things that are happening. It took a really long time for me to get into it. I mean, it really did. I'd say probably at least 30 to 40 hours before I finally went, wow, I have a hard time deciding what what characters I want to take into battle with me. Like it's originally it was just like, oh, I'll take this guy, I'll take this girl, and we're good. And now it's like, oh man, I got like 4 or 5 people I want to take with me, and that's nice to have now, but it took so long. Another problem I have with the game, and Tim Turry talked about it on the Game Informer podcast, it's very buggy. I had a lot of times where I needed to, talk to an NPC character to finish a side quest, and I couldn't get the conversation to start. So I would have to turn the game off, turn it back on, and then it would work. And I just don't think things like that should exist, in a Game of the Year candidate. Now, that being said, what my Game of the Year is going to just make everyone upset. But, whatever. My Game of the Year is Destiny. Hashtag deal with it. Now, hopefully, that's it. I'm going to feel bad if I missed anyone, but this is the first of many videos. I'm sure this is like rough and terrible and whatever, but we'll get better. Maybe I'll put a poster behind me. I never realized how like bland my walls are. Also, how creepy would it be if like someone walked past there, because I'm on the second floor of my apartment? It would be super weird. But yeah, that's it. Facebook group. I'm gonna be putting more topics up. I'm gonna be definitely every week a new topic. Game Informer will definitely be helping because I'll be posting cool news. Posting interesting topics in the podcast. Whatever. Their new cover story, Uncharted 4. Maybe we'll talk about that. What you guys think of the Uncharted series? Who knows what'll be happening. But yeah, I want to just say, if you think that the conversation is over, obviously it's not, right? I'm going to post this to the Facebook group, and if you think that the community members who posted their conversation, their opinions on here are wrong, let them know. Tell them what you thought the Game of the Year was. If you thought the Game Informer editors got it wrong with their Game of the Year, let them know. But be nice. Some of them talked to me on Twitter, and that's really cool, and I appreciate that a lot. I once talked to Kim about how she was drinking at 11 o'clock in the morning at an airport. I don't judge, though. She can do whatever she wants. But yeah, so that's it. I'll see you guys next week, and I'll bring another topic, like I said, to the Game Informer Overblood community thingy. We really, really need a title for this thing. You guys are clever, so help me out. Later.